Hey guys, welcome back to the Community Cares Podcast. I'm Dave. I'm the Executive Director here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet.
And I'm Chaplain Chaz Blackburn, and I have the honor of being the president of Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. And we have an awesome guest on today who I got to meet at our Nevada Day dinner. And I'm remembering as I see the beard after you said that. You had the hat on earlier. But you're here representing a really important organization that's close to my heart. And so I'll let you introduce yourself and the organization that you're here to talk about.
Yeah, so my name is Gregg Katz. I have the pleasure and the honor of being a vision speaker for Foster the City, which is a ministry based out of San Jose area in California, but is here in northern Nevada as well. And actually it's kind of nationwide at this point, but it's primarily there in California and northern Nevada. And the ministry is something we kind of got into, my wife and I, early, actually really before it was really a thing here in northern Nevada. But the ministry, Foster the City, is a nonprofit that's kind of obvious. It's about foster and the care of vulnerable children, and it's really a ministry that it comes alongside churches. So it's not a ministry that does the work itself. It's a ministry that partners with churches, all kinds of Bible-believing churches, to help foster in those churches a foster community.
It's great.
So important.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here and having this conversation. I mean, that's what it's all about, is conversations and learning about different nonprofits and all the different activities that are happening in our community, because there's so much going on, always. There really is. And so let's get into our sponsors. Our sponsors are, our first one is Shelley's Hardware. Shelley's Hardware, thank you so much for sponsoring us. If you need that bolts,
Literally, yeah.
or if you need a big leaf blower because the leaves fall. Because it's...
Do they have the leaf vacuums as well?
I think they do.
Those are handy.
I mean, they have everything there. They're small. They're local. We know the owners. They're great people. Definitely, if you need something, support local. Support a small business in your community. They are the oldest local hardware store in Reno Sparks, period. So they've been around for a long time, and they really care about the community. Obviously they do, because they're supporting Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet in the Community Cares Podcast. So support local, support them, and that's how we keep this mission moving forwards every single week. The next sponsor we have is Spherion Staffing. Are you a business in Reno searching for top talent, or an individual looking for the next great career opportunity? Look no further than Spherion Staffing. As the local experts in recruitment, Spherion understands the unique needs of the northern Nevada job market. They connect qualified candidates with leading companies, ensuring the right fit every time. Whether you need administrative support, light industrial staff, or professional hires, Spherion takes the stress out of staffing. Call or text Spherion today to find out more. 775-829-8367.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. You never read them
great.
for me, man. I have to read them. Thanks a lot.
Because my eyesight's getting worse and worse. I can't read the screen
You
over
want me to
there.
blow it up a little bit bigger for you, buddy?
Always a little bigger.
Hey, Brian's a great guy. He's a VP of Spherion Staffing. We thank you guys for supporting local, and I always want to support organizations that are giving back to local nonprofits. I mean, that's really an amazing thing.
And speaking of another small business that is giving back, our last sponsor we're going to talk about today is Relentless Business Mastery. They are a Reno-based digital marketing agency specializing in services such as local SEO, web development, pay-per-click advertising, social media management, and business consulting. They focus on helping small businesses and entrepreneurs in the Reno Sparks area to enhance their online presence and attract more customers. The agency is led by Jason Messick, who has been here and helped with fundraisers. And not only that, I love shouting him out, and you know why? Because when I talked to him about sponsorship and what we're doing and everything, he said, "You don't have to mention us. It's okay." I said, "No,
awesome.
we're going to mention you."
Yeah.
Not only are you guys sponsoring the podcast because you believe in it, you're also helping us behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
Amazing guy.
You know, I'm glad I can read that screen, because when you said pay-per-click, I thought you said paperclip. Paperclip advertising. I was like, I've never seen a paperclip advertisement. That's a pay-per-click advertising. That's excellent.
Paperclip.
yeah, no, they're an awesome business. And again, support them. They are all local. They believe in the community. They help us with that $1.2 million worth of clothes that we're able to give away last year because of donors, the individuals like you who's watching the show right now. You guys make this happen, and it just takes $20, $50, $100 a month, whatever you can spare. That is what helps us continue this mission forwards, and I guarantee you our budget is no $1.2 million.
No, we have an amazing output for the amount of input of financial donations, and that's something is really important to me. Whenever I join an organization, I look at, how are they spending that money and those finances wisely, and it's not like, some big salary. I mean, we have one staff member, all volunteers, and we give away a lot of clothes with dignity.
And now that we're on air, I'm going to talk to you about that.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, good.
I'm joking.
Well, good. Right before the elections
Or
of
at least a Christmas bonus. I mean,
Just saying. Yeah, no, it really is about the community, and we're all about helping those in need. And our goal is to expand and grow, and we have some big announcements soon.
We're doing them today?
If you want, sure.
No, we're not doing it today.
Called your bluff.
You did. We got to be more prepared, but big stuff.
Big stuff coming, and we are going to be announcing it to the community soon. It is hopefully very big and will impact people in need even more. And we're really excited. End of year. And without you, without the donor, without the volunteer, all of our volunteers, they donate financially. They volunteer time and they donate financially.
And we truthfully, we were kind of talking about this earlier, looking at the last 28 years of our organization, other than when we first started, we are sitting in the best position thanks to all of you financially, with volunteers, with clothing donations, with awareness, with micro closets, and our expansions. You guys have really embodied and come alongside us to really push this mission forward, and we just can't do it without you. So thank you.
Well, yeah, and if you believe in this cause, if you believe in Foster the City and want to learn more about them, definitely listen to the rest of the show and share this podcast with a friend. Get this out there so we can make sure that we're letting as many people know as possible how they can further help their community even more. That being said, Greg, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. And
I appreciate you.
and beyond...
That was the nicest thing he said to you since
Beyond representing Foster the City, you're also one of my pastors. So thank you for being one of my pastors. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's not an easy role.
Some parishioners are easier than others.
Izzy looks at Dave.
Being able to, you guys gave my wife and I such a warm welcome joining the community group that we're a part of, your community group. So thank you. And you really do have a heart for the community, and it shows. So thank you.
Yeah, no, and I was going to say, man, when you guys were talking about pay scales and everything else, like I've gotten to know you over the past, and it's probably been close to a year now, but definitely more intimately over the last 6 to 8 months, and you're the genuine guy too. So those are the kinds of people I want to surround myself with and partner with. And the first time we met, you invited me here to Good Shepherds, and I was able to see what you guys are doing, which is incredible. It's I don't know if you guys like to use the term grassroots, but I love those terms. Like, yeah. That's what it's really about. It's about people who are really doing what they are promoting, right? It's people who are actually living that life, and none of us do it perfectly or all the time, but our hearts are for that, and your heart, your wife's heart to do what you do, as I've gotten to know you a little bit, same for you, Chaz, and so I'm glad to be here, and
Awesome. Well, yeah, and thank you so much for being here. Let's dive into Foster the City, who you're representing today.
Yeah. Let's talk about why this is so important, because a lot of people don't realize, unless you know someone who's been in the foster care system. And correct me, you probably know the numbers better than me, but I do a lot of work with Washoe County, and it's staggering the amount of children who need a foster home and the amount of families that we have.
Yeah, this is like one of the optimal times is when you think about Christmas and you think about the holidays and you think about kids that are in care, particularly kids that are not in a placement in a home. That means they're going to be at Kids Cottage or in some kind of group home. And over the holidays, that's a rough time to be in an institution, right? Obviously, the people that work at the Kids Cottage and other places have a care and a desire to love these children, but it's different than being being in a home environment. And even though, there's so many things our community does to raise funds and to provide toys and things for the holidays, what they can't provide is that loving home, the stocking on the fireplace or whatever your tradition is. And so you think about, the 40 or 50 kids right now that are at the cottage and will be there over the holidays. That's heartbreaking, because that really is the goal. We say at Foster the City, what we're trying to do is instead of having a waiting list of kids looking for homes, we're looking for a waiting list of homes looking for kids. And that's just not the case. That's not the case nationally, but particularly in Washoe County. And the numbers are always changing. I pulled up some of the numbers and I made notes so I wouldn't misquote. But on average, there's 600 kids in care.
Wow.
Just in Washoe County.
Wow.
600 kids that are in care. And currently, there are about 400 licensed homes. That's on the website. I think it's actually way lower than that, and there's been some changes in our government, as there always is. When new governments come in, policies change, and even though there's some good things going on the federal level, there's always changes that affect the way the foster care system works. So when you think about all these kids looking for homes, the bottom line is we need more people, and Foster the City sees it as the church's responsibility, as I do. That's my whole motivation. When my wife and I, even before we got married, we talked about this idea of what it would be to foster, and really for us it was more adopt. We didn't really have a lens of foster. We knew what it was. Yeah. But here's the thing: is we both had that passion and desire. My wife, their family had adopted 2 of her cousins who grew up as sisters. So we both had a desire to do it because we saw and we knew that we were adopted by God, that the Bible uses that term all the time. And so when Paul talks about it, particularly in Romans and Galatians and Ephesians, he uses this language that we are adopted by Christ. We are adopted by God the Father. And that's so different than saying we are just made sons or daughters. Yeah. This term adoption means so much more. When you go through, like when we've adopted our kids, of which I should say,
it's amazing.
My wife and I have adopted 5. We've got 3 biological. We've adopted 5 kids, all older, which is also our passion is the older kids who are really hard to find placements for. But when you finalize that adoption, the court system says that this child has every right, just like a biological child does, to everything you have, your estate. You die tomorrow, it's them. So there's this idea when God says we're adopted. It's not that I'm going to take you in, I'm going to give you some. It's you're taken in as a son or daughter. Your name is changed.
Gives me goosebumps.
Your everything about your life becomes grafted into God's family, not as a secondary child, or the Bible says that we're made brothers with Christ Jesus, the King of Kings, right? So this idea is for the Christian should always be. I always tell people when I'm vision casting, I'm like, everybody should be saying yes to being involved in foster care. But what is your yes, right? For some people, it might be financial contribution. For some people, it might be opening up your home. But what is really cool is the model that Foster the City has is it's about bringing up people in the church to surround families that need help, that are fostering. If you think about this, I always remember going to church when I was a kid, and I'd see foster families, and they always looked haggard. They looked tired. They drove a piece of junk car, and they seemed like they were just falling apart, and it's because they didn't have support. And so the model of Foster the City says, hey, for every family in your church, we're going to bring 4 families or groups of people to surround you as what we call foster friends. And those friends are going to be there not just to do things, but to pray for you, to send you notes of encouragement, to help with rides, getting kids everywhere they need to be. When you have a kid in care, you have doctor's appointments and oftentimes some kind of psychological appointments, therapy. You have visits with their biological families. All of these things that you're trying to do, and it takes so much work. When my wife and I first started Foster the City wasn't a thing yet, but we had a community group of people around us, and they were there on our darkest days. They dropped off a basket of food and adult beverages to get us through the evening, and because you need that. It's super hard work. Like I'm the most real. When you ask me and you want to know the nitty gritty, I will tell you the dark, horror stories. I mean, I was just at Sparks PD today with one of my kids. It's hard work, but it's God ordained work for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine if you've not had that experience, or you've never had kids, or maybe you did have kids, taking in foster kids, it could be pretty scary. So having that support system of best practices and just the prayer, I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Right.
One of my questions I'd like to dive into the history of the organization, because you kind of really already dove into what kind of inspires you for the organization. So history-wise, I mean, why is Foster the City here? How did it get here? Do you know how it started?
Yeah, and I don't want to misquote too much, but our executive director is a guy named Philip Patterson.
Okay.
He's in San Jose. He was, I believe, an associate pastor at a church there in San Jose, and just had this call from God. Just that he saw the need in their own city. He felt the power of the church to solve the problem of kids that need placements, the kids that need loving families to support them and love them in their darkest days. And not just that, but to work with the biological families. I mean, and you think about really a lot of what we see with these displaced kids and families that are hurting is generational. They're generational issues, right? Yeah. They've been passed down, and so how can you come alongside bio parents and say, "Hey, no, we're on your side. We're not here to take your children. We're here to help you get back on your feet, help you be empowered." So Philip kind of started doing it just kind of within his own church, and when he first brought it to the church, he got a surprising thumbs up from the church, and so it really just grew out of that. I believe what happened is his church merged with another church, and the story that I remember him telling me is like that was the one thing when, if you've ever been a part of a church merge, the one thing he said, "Hey, this is something we're not going to give up. This is something we're not going to surrender, is this foster ministry within the church." And then it really just kind of, it went from him doing that to him leaving the pastoral ministry to take this ministry bigger. And it started, I believe it was Foster the Bay at first, because it was just a Bay Area thing, and then they blossomed into Foster the City, which is really how I got involved. So we were trying to start something called Foster the City in Reno.
Oh, wow.
And literally when we went to look up the URL for Foster the City, it was taken. And we're like, who owns this? And then Kate, who's the regional director here for Northern Nevada, she found who it was. They started talking, and they're like, all right, why, you guys are trying to do the same thing we're doing. We've already set up so many great policies, procedures, and everything else. So we basically just got grafted in. We got adopted by Foster the City.
That's cool.
Love it. That's awesome. That's a beautiful story, especially how it started here in Northern Nevada. So thank you for sharing that. Is there what future and vision is there right now for Foster City?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the vision is a home for every child, right? And beyond that is there are people that might open their homes, but a Christian home that will point kids to Jesus with an open heart and mind to all kinds of kids from all kinds of backgrounds, even all kinds of religious beliefs. Social beliefs, but to open a home and just share the love of Jesus, right? But really, it's that move toward more of a national presence. Philip Patterson, who I mentioned is our executive director, he was actually just in D.C. He was invited to speak with a panel nationally. Wow. Just because, and I don't know if you've heard, like a couple weeks ago, the current president announced just a bigger push for the foster system, for more money, for just seeing all of the issues that come out of kids that either age out of the system or are never placed. So there is that good national push to see more homes. So really, it is to be a national presence, just to keep speaking to churches. Really, our kind of end to every church is we just reach out to pastors and we say, hey, we see this as a need for our city. Would your church be interested? Because honestly, statistically, the church is doing most of the fostering and adopting nationally. It is mostly Christians. My wife and I have tried to be licensed in 3 different states. We first did it in Georgia when we were living there, and then we moved before we finished the licensing. Then we did it in Washington, and then we did it in Georgia again. And every time we moved, and then we ended up in Reno, we literally took it all again. But when you go to those classes, you'll find that there's a lot of Christians, because it is a Christian ethic. It is a Christian ethic adoption. So, so really, it is just getting the word out to say, hey, how many churches? Because the church is the answer. Like, if every church in Washoe County had one family taking in kids, we'd solve the current need. Wow. It'd be done. So
it seems so simple too. One family, kids,
and a church that's willing to say, "Hey, we believe in this mission. We're going to raise up support friends. We're going to raise up advocates, and we're going to do this because it's, like I said, it's hard work. And those who are doing the work, the statistics are like it's I can't remember what it is. It's under 20%, I believe, people after their first placement who get licensed, and it's hard to get licensed. They get through the licensing problem, they take their first placement and never take another placement, let their license lapse. Wow. With Foster the City, I should have wrote down those statistics. I know it's well over 65%. And I think it's more in the 80 or 90% of families continue because they have support that they need. Mm-hmm. So
wow. Can I ask you in general, not calling any churches out, of course, but how has the response been in general to the churches locally?
Yeah, I think in general it's good. If you spoke to a pastor who said, "Yep, fostering is not for us," I would I would have a problem. But I think the fear is, what is this going to take from me? You know, you talk to a lead pastor, you talk to an executive pastor, like, "Oh, I got so much on my plate. Right. What is this going to take from me?" But really, the ask is not anything of the pastor. Like, I'm the executive pastor at our church. We're in Foster the City. I don't do anything specifically in our church for Foster the City. Wow. We have an advocate. We raise up an advocate within the church, a volunteer who says, "Hey, I will be an advocate," which means I'm going to reach out to the pastors and say, "Hey, can we push this for maybe Foster Awareness Month, or can we push this during this season, make an announcement from stage?" And then that advocate is going to work to do that. We're going to have support friends. We're going to have basically the ministry in the church doesn't take really anything from the pastors other than a yes and just some moments 3-4 times a year from the stage to say, "Hey, this is what we're doing." And we provide, Foster the City provides so much support. They provide background checks. They pay for and provide all the background checks for everybody, because everybody that's in the ministry has to be background checked, that's even if you're never around kids, right? So they provide the background checks. They provide training. They provide all the materials. They provide videos. We will send a preacher. You want somebody to preach? I'll come preach at your church. Philip has come out and preached at a couple of the churches here in Reno. I love that. So really the ask is yes, and just a little bit of time.
That's awesome. It's super doable.
You passed a background check?
Surprisingly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's called "I've Never Been Caught."
I'm so grateful that...
whatever. Oh my goodness.
I'm so grateful you're here.
I worked in security for like 20 years, so I had to. In fact, one of my first jobs, I was one of the only guys that could pass this big federal one to work at a federal site. So they're like, "Oh, you're the project manager for this job."
That's great.
Is this really how you treat most of your friends?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. If I
don't feel so bad anymore.
If I don't, then we might not be friends. Yeah. There are a few people in my life that I am friends with that I don't pick on, but
it's projection. That's what it is.
It's definitely projection. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Pastor Gregg.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. So that being said, you are one of the best worship leaders I've heard. Wow. Period. I love our worship director is great. Stephanie's amazing at Livingstone Sparks. And you're amazing too. One of the things whenever it's you and Stephanie singing, Nika and I walk away. We're like, wow, I feel so filled, and it was led in spirit and truth, and it was all about Jesus.
Yeah. No, it's crazy because I met Steph when I was at the Reno Livingstone's church, and then when I moved up to Spanish Springs, I was there, and then I was making the move from the worship pastor to executive pastor, and like early on when I met her, and we never actually even played together at Livingstone's in Reno, but we knew each other, and I always like, man, she has a heart for leading worship, not performing. It's not about anything she does. She just wants to worship Jesus. And when she started coming to the Sparks Church, I was like, oh, I'm so thankful you're here. And then when I needed to hire somebody to kind of replace me, she was high on my list, where I was like, hey, would you consider this? Because that's, to me, it's like, it is like we're talking about, authenticity is important, right?
Yep.
Like I don't want to be around, not that I don't want to be around people. I don't want to associate my closest people that, my closest people need to be authentic, and authenticity is important. So, that's what I try to bring. Like I said, when I talk about Foster the City, it comes from a heart, again, just a desire to see the biblical mandate. I mean, it's not just the New Testament language of adoption. The entire Old Testament talks about the vulnerable, the widows, the orphans, and the call is, and even the sojourner, right, the foreigner. And it says, hey, bring these people in. And when Jesus, I mean, this is so important. Like when Jesus, right before he faces the cross, right, he's in Matthew 25, he's talking about the sheep and the goats, and he tells the story of these people that he came to them when he was naked, or when he was thirsty, or when he was imprisoned, and they did not meet his needs. And then he talks about those who did. And it's not a gospel of works. What it is just as James talks about when he talks about feeding the orphan and the widow and clothing them. He says it's not that your works are what saves you. It's that your faith in God and seeing who you are in Christ as an adopted son and daughters means that you go and do likewise, right? You go and do likewise. That's what Jesus says after the story of the Good Samaritan. He says, go and do likewise. Serve those who are in need, and really vulnerable children in our city. Like people that say they're social justice warriors is like, you know what? You want to see less homeless? Do you want to see the stats on kids that age out of the system and end up homeless? I think it's like 1 in 3. You want to see females who are pregnant by the time they're 19 years old? You look at the stats among kids who've aged out or have spent a long time in foster care, and it's significantly higher. So when you say, "Hey, I'm gonna invest," and it doesn't mean it's not like you're not like you're going to see in the movies. You might only make that child's life 10% better, but that's 10%. And that 10% is going to be 20% for the next generation. And you're investing in saying, hey, I want to put to death all of these social justice issues that I see. This is one of the best ways you can do that, is to invest in children.
Amen.
Yeah, and a few weeks ago we had Renovation Foundation on,
right,
and they were on the show, and just having that conversation of those kids that grow out of the foster care system and what happens to them afterwards, why it's so important to have those family values instilled into those children is what really can make the difference, whether or not homelessness is that next phase in their life.
I mean, you age out at 18, you don't know how to apply for a job maybe properly. You don't know how to get a rental apartment. How do I fill out this application? We're working with one of my kids right now, just like helping them fill out applications. So like if you don't have that support system, and it doesn't mean, I mean, there are opportunities, and the renovation, man, it's so cool what they're doing. Like they're like, to see someone who has a platform use what he has to just shed light on and fill the needs is amazing.
Well, in the key, and which is one of the reasons I love working with Eddie House, because we work with Eddie House pretty closely,
right,
is collaboration.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, so Renovation Foundation, they were talking about how they refer people to Eddie House and back and forth, right? And so it's having those conversations about these people that matter, because they're human beings. They're not numbers. They're not less than. They're human beings that deserve more, which is why what we do at Good Shepherd is so important, because these are human beings. These children are human beings that need those influences in their life to be successful in work and life. And we serve a lot of foster families here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet,
right?
And it's all about that human being. I mean, and I say this a lot on the show. It could definitely be. It doesn't have to be clothes with how we serve people.
Right.
It doesn't have to be clothes. It could be food. Could be supporting foster families. Could be all sorts of different avenues. The point is that we're solving an issue in that person's life that gives them just that little push.
Yeah.
Whether it's helping with rides or something,
Just being a friend,
or being a friend, right? There's so much more than just a number, than just so donating to Foster the City, it does more than just a number.
Yeah,
it's not a number. It's a human being that you're supporting.
Right.
So that being said, how can people get involved, and how can they support Foster the City?
Yeah. So Foster the City is not, they don't receive money from anywhere but just donations. And there's a couple reasons for that. One of those, which is we are unapologetically Christian. But with that, we are also not denominational. So we'll work with any Christian church. We have had that pushback from a couple pastors. It's like, oh, you work with that church too? Like, okay. But there's, so if you are a church person and you go to a church that is not currently involved with Foster the City, man, you can just put a little whistle in one of the pastor's ears. It's just fosterthecity.org is the website. Pretty easy to get to. On that website, you can learn all about how it works, how to get involved. I always tell people again with that, everybody can do something. Maybe it is just financial support. And again, I'm not paid. There's kind of like you guys. There's not a lot of people on staff. All the money given in Northern Nevada stays in Northern Nevada.
Well,
so even though the checks go to San Jose where they're processed, it stays in Northern Nevada.
Yeah.
And like I said, that goes to providing background checks, providing training, providing resource material. They do an amazing job of producing videos. There's this one video we play in a lot of our church talks, and I cry every time. I've seen this video 20 times. I know one of the ladies in the video, but it's like I've always told her when I see her, I'm like, if I ever meet the bio mom of a child that she had cared for, I'm just going to hug that woman. And she's like, who are you? And I'm like, I've watched your video 100 times. I cry every time. I cry almost every time I cast vision because I do believe, and it is hard, man. It is really hard. It is hard work, and it's not work that you're going to be appreciated for, but that's why we need more and more people because, my wife and I are kind of, like I said, we adopted 5 here from, kids that were in Washoe County, that were in the system. And we're kind of at a semi-retirement level for us. But there's always a need. So if, like I said, if you're at a church, even if you're not a Christian and you're not in a church, you can give financially. Again, we don't take money from any grants or any other sources because we want to be a Christian organization and we don't want stipulation on that. Yeah, that's how you can. I would just direct you to the website because even in there you can, if you're at a church, you can sign up to go to an interest meeting. When we have enough people sign up, we'll do in-persons with a big group of people. But if you sign up and there's not a whole lot of other people, Kate or one of the other staff members here in Northern Nevada will meet with you in person. They'll take you out to coffee and say, hey, this is how you can get involved. Here's the next steps. So
that's great. Well, thank you so much for being here and being a part of it. And I would definitely love to have you guys back on, have Kate on as well.
For sure.
That'd be
She's
great.
far more articulate than I am.
You're doing a great job, Greg. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like you're in front of people every week, huh?
Yeah. I just talk.
So is your accent from Georgia? Is that?
Yeah, you hear.
I like it though. It's cool.
The more tired I get, the more it comes out. And I'll be in Georgia in December. So usually when I come home because that's where my wife's family is. When I come back home, people are like,
cool.
"Oh, I hear it again." Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you as a friend. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the show. Hey, Chaz, do you have any final thoughts for the day?
Some of these kids have gone through some of the most horrific situations. And what just stuck in my mind that you said is that if every church had one family serving kids, there would be no waiting list. So I guess my final question is, if there's a family out there who's, considering this, but they're scared to take that step, what is the one thing you would say to them to just take that next step and reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I would say that just don't be afraid to ask the questions is one thing. I'm at Living Stones Church in Spanish Springs. You can look me up on there and find my email. You can shoot me an email. I'd love to talk to you. But yeah, I think the thing is, if we never did anything we were afraid to do, right, we would never do anything. And it is costly. It's going to cost you. I have told people that, hey, I don't think your family is in a position where I think this is a good idea. But, I think and it doesn't have to be married couples, single people can adopt children and foster as well. I would just, if you have a heart for it, just take that first step. Say yes to talking to somebody from Foster the City or myself, so that you can get all the information you need and just start down that path. And I always tell people too, like, once you're licensed, the city isn't just dropping kids off at your house. They call you and they ask you, hey, here's the situation. They might not have all the details, but they'll tell you what they can and what they do know. And so you're not forced into anything. You can. If you have hey, I can only take 2 to 3 year olds, you can say that. If you can say, I'm only willing to take, a female child or a male child, that's your prerogative. So don't be scared. It's there. The kids need help. You don't have to be a perfect parent. I'm far from it. You just have to be someone who's willing to invest a little bit of your time.
And you don't have to be alone, because you guys surround each other through Foster the City.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say our cliche saying is, be the change that you want to see in the world. And you guys are being that change. And thank you for reflecting Jesus' love and light. And the youth are our future, and that you're making impacts that affect generations. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Is that all you had?
Yeah.
You normally have more for me, man. Come on.
I think it speaks for itself.
How much time do you have? Because I have a hot tip. You want a hot tip?
You have a hot tip?
Yeah. What was? And I apologize. What's the name of the hardware store?
Aces.
It's our show.
Shelley's Hardware. I just said Aces.
Whoa. Shelley's Hardware.
True value. True value. Shelley's is true value.
Yeah. So when I used to travel a lot for work, I would always find the oldest hardware store, because if you search around long enough, you're going to find something that's been in there for 30 years and has the same price tag.
Oh.
I used to find some hot deals on tools that were like they had a price tag that's 40 years old. You're like, 35 cents for a hammer.
That's awesome.
Give me 7. I once bought a store out of drill bit sets because I found a hot take, and I just pulled the dust off, found the price tag, and they're like, oh, there you go. It's like,
that's awesome.
I'm not trying to. It might be for them too. They can go back and say, "Oh man, we need to check our inventory, make sure we reprice."
No,
I did not expect that. That was a great tip.
Seriously, they have some good deals though. Like they'll do like half off of like inventory, like shovels and stuff. I'm like, I know how much that's.
And those
worth.
stores are the ones where you're going to find that niche item, right? Like, because a store like that has been in town for as long as it has. The same, if you have an older house like you and I do that was built in the 70s, and you're trying to find something that'll fit it,
that's true.
Home Depot's not going to have it. But the chances are that the guy that built our house bought the stuff there when he built it, and they've got it.
Very true.
Plus, they don't make tools like they used to anymore.
They sure don't. They give you a lifetime warranty. Yeah. You just have to jump through hoops to get to it.
Thank you so much for being here and being a part of what we're doing here and supporting us. I know you and your wife have supported us and my family and this organization in different ways. Yeah. So thank you.
And I hope there are some opportunities this year to up that support on multiple levels. So
I appreciate
you guys are doing
that.
great work.
Thank you. If you want to learn more about Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, please visit getclothes.org. You can find out all the information on how to volunteer or donate financially. We use Zephy, which is a fee-free platform. You can choose to donate to Zephy, but you don't have to. You can make it so all the donations go to Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. They are the only true free donation platform.
They're amazing.
They're great. They're a great platform. So you can donate there. And then you can also check out our P.O. Box. All that information is on every page of our website if you go to the bottom of the page. So all the information's there. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for support. And we're just so thankful for what you guys have done in 2025 for our organization.
Yes. We have attitude of gratitude. Honestly. Thank you guys.
It is remarkable to see all the strides that, because of the community coming around us, that we've been able to make, and we have big things coming for the next year.
Mm-hmm. It's going to affect our youth. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, God's really blessed our organization, and we're all about making sure that we're making the proper steps. So please visit our website. Our website is getclosed.org. And this is the Community Cares Podcast with Dave McLaughlin and Chaplain Chaz Blackburn.
Well, you almost sung a tune there, bro.
I did?
Yeah. It was like,
Was that sing-songy? Is that what it was?
I was hoping.
Sing us a song, brother.
No, I won't.
You have a great voice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please share, like, subscribe, and be a part of this journey with us. We've been doing this show for over 2 years.
What an honor. That's
Wow,
awesome, man.
wild. We've been in this room for 2 years.
Mondays can be tough, but I look forward to this part of the Monday.
Me too.
I'm not sure I believe that. Wow.
Hey, thank you guys so much. We help over 800 people a month. No matter what, we're asking you to come alongside and help one. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.